The other hunters were shocked as they watched Jin-Woo and his team take off. Jin-Woo turned around, realizing his friends weren't following. Come on guys. Let's go. We don't have all day. We've still got 2 more gates to get through. The hunters' eyes widened in amazement. One of them, Gae-won-yoon, a gray-haired man, was so stunned that he didn't even notice his cigarette had fallen out of his mouth. He just stood there, frozen. Jin-Woo and his team were going for another raid. That was crazy. Just moments before, they had wiped out a tough C-rank dungeon, all by themselves. Gae-won wasn't the only one who thought this was insane. Day 1 was crazy. Jin-Woo and Jin-Woo were surrounded by a bunch of zombies. Boss, they're coming, Jin-Woo shouted. Jin-Woo just said, got it, and started taking down the zombies with ease. Heads were flying everywhere. The zombies didn't stand a chance. Before long, there was only one zombie left. Jin-Woo stabbed it in the chest, and the usual chime rang out. Ping, you have leveled up. Jin-Woo cheered. Boss, that was amazing. Jin-Woo just smiled and said, essence stones. Jin-Woo started collecting all the stones from the zombies. Just then, more notifications popped up. Ping, you learned skill, advanced dagger wielding live. Ping, you learned skill, fatal strike LVEV. Ping, the level of skill dash has increased. Jin-Woo's face lit up. He had new skills. He quickly checked his skill info screen. He had a bunch of skills including passive skills like willpower and advanced dagger wielding, and active skills like dash, murderous intent, stealth and fatal strike. His dash skill was now level 2, which meant he could move 40% faster when he used it. He also got 2 new skills, advanced dagger wielding and fatal strike. Jin-Woo was excited to try out his new skills. Get ready for some cool updates. When you're using your mana, it will go down by 1 point every minute. But here's the good news. Your speed just got a boost. It jumped from 30%, which is a big deal since Jin-Woo uses this skill all the time. Jin-Woo also leveled up his dagger skills with skill, advanced dagger wielding LV1. This is a passive skill, which means it's always working for him without using any mana. The best part, it only works when he's wielding a dagger. Since Jin-Woo has been practicing with daggers for so long, his damage just increased by 33%. That's right, more power when fighting with a dagger. This skill is super helpful because daggers are his go-to weapon. Now, if he tries using other weapons, they won't be as effective. It just proves that daggers are the way to go for Jin-Woo when it comes to attacking. This was a huge plus for Jin-Woo because he loved his current weapon, and didn't plan on switching anytime soon. He had grown super attached to Kasaka's Venom Fang. It just felt right in his hands. Now let's check out the last one. Jin-Woo's eyes scanned it with excitement. Skill Fatal Strike LV1. This was an active skill that needed 70 mana to work, but there was a catch. It only worked with daggers. The good news was that it taught him how to fight way more efficiently. Imagine being able to find your opponent's weakest spot and strike with a fatal blow. There was a special skill that let you do just that. But it only worked with daggers. It was all about attacking in the most effective way possible. Now that he thought back, he realized he had felt the same rush when he defeated that last zombie as he did when he took down Taesik. It was an exhilarating feeling, like a thrill of excitement. The fight was over in an instant. As soon as Jin-Woo stabbed them with his dagger, he knew it was all done. He must have hit a fatal spot. What was crazy was that something he had just gotten lucky with was now a skill he could use anytime he wanted. Jin-Woo's heart was racing with excitement. Jin-Woo was super excited to learn a new skill called Fatal Strike. It was like a breath of fresh air. He could finally attack his enemies in a new way instead of just swinging his dagger around. And the best part, he'd leveled up, which meant he got to learn even more cool skills. On the second day of hunting, Jin-Woo's speed improved big time, thanks to Fatal Strike. He was taking down magic beasts left and right, with just one hit. Jin-Woo watched in awe, wondering how Jin-Woo had kept this skill a secret for so long. What other tricks did he have up his sleeve? Jin-Woo was curious about Jin-Woo's actual rank. He must be at least a B-rank hunter if he could defeat C-rank hunters so easily. But as they hunted faster and faster, a problem popped up. Jin-Woo's mana was running out, which meant he couldn't use Fatal Strike anymore. He frowned and pulled out a special potion to refill his mana. Jin-Woo's eyes widened with curiosity. What was that blue drink? What's that, boss? He asked. Jin-Woo hesitated for a moment before answering. He checked the info on the potion. It was called a mana potion, and it helped recover his mana. It wasn't a big deal, but Jin-Woo had seen him drink it before, and he was still curious about what made it so special. When you drink this special potion, it gives you back 500 mana. You can store it in your inventory, but there's a catch: you can't give it to anyone else. The description was clear: no sharing allowed. Jin-Woo wondered what would happen if he tried to share it anyway. He decided to test it out and handed the potion to his friend Jin-Woo. But as soon as Jin-Woo touched it, the potion vanished into thin air. Is this magic, boss?" Jin-Woo asked, shocked. Jin-Woo realized that's why he couldn't transfer the potion to someone else. He had just discovered a cool new secret. Imagine you have something that's just for you. If someone else touches it, poof, it's gone. But what if they don't touch it? Jin-Woo had a question like this, so he called the shop and bought another special drink. This time it wasn't his usual energy booster. Instead, he got a red healing potion. As soon as he paid for it, the potion appeared in his hand. "Wow, boss, that's amazing," someone exclaimed. "Whoa," the liquid turned red. Jin-Woo exclaimed. He thought it was some kind of cool magic trick that one potion had vanished, and another had appeared in its place. But Jin-Woo had a simple reason for switching them. "I want to see if they'll work on others," he explained. Then he asked Jin-Woo to lie down. "Open your mouth and look up," Jin-Woo said. Jin-Woo did as he was told, looking a bit unsure. "L like this, boss?" he asked. Jin-Woo nodded. "Perfect. Stay still just like that." Then he carefully tilted a bottle filled with a mysterious red liquid. The potion poured down Jin-Woo's throat with a gentle gurgling sound. At first, Jin-Woo looked surprised, but then his eyes widened in amazement. "Huh, what is this, boss?" he exclaimed. "I suddenly have so much energy." Just moments before, Jin-Woo had been exhausted from carrying a heavy bag for a long time. But now the color was rushing back to his face. Jin-Woo watched with a satisfied smile. The potion was working just as he had hoped. He made a mental note: pouring the potion directly into someone's mouth was an effective way to transfer its power. This was great news, and Jin-Woo felt relieved that his plan was paying off. Jin-Woo was able to help wounded hunters, even without a healer. This skill would be super helpful to him in the future. "If you get tired, just let me know," Jin-Woo said. "I've got more where that came from." But Jin-Woo wasn't being nice, just for the sake of it. He knew that if his butler, Jin-Woo, got too tired, Jin-Woo's own progress would slow down. Jin-Woo had a different idea about why Jin-Woo was being so kind. "Boss," he stuttered, looking really touched. Jin-Woo just said, "Let's go," and Jin-Woo followed him. Tears in his eyes, Jin-Woo thought Jin-Woo was an amazing boss, not just strong, but also really cool. On the third day of their adventure, Jin-Woo rummaged through his bag and pulled out a bank statement. "Oh, please take this, boss," he said, handing it to Jin-Woo. "What's this?" Jin-Woo asked. "It's the money we made from selling those essence stones over the last 2 days," Jin-Woo replied. Jin-Woo wasn't exactly thrilled that Jin-Woo was giving him the money now, when they were in the middle of a dungeon filled with magic beasts. Jin-Woo's excitement was short-lived. He stared at the number on the paper: 600,000. "That's a whopping amount of money. You're giving me all the cash from selling the essence stones?" he asked, shocked. Jin-Woo nodded with a smile. "Yes, I am. To be honest, I don't need the money from raids. And let's be real, you're the hero who took down those magic beasts." Jin-Woo's eyes lit up like a kid waiting for a compliment. "How can I ask you to share the rewards?" he said with a grin. Jin-Woo was surprised by Jin-Woo's excited attitude. When they first met, Jin-Woo seemed like he was only doing what Jin-Woo asked because he had to. But now, things were different. Jin-Woo could tell that Jin-Woo's whole outlook on their partnership had changed. He looked at Jin-Woo with newfound curiosity. What had brought about this change? Jin-Woo was acting like a young colleague who looked up to someone he really admired. He had some pretty adorable moments too. Jin-Woo tried not to smile. "Can I really take everything?" he asked. Jin-Woo shot back. "Do you think I'd say something I don't mean, boss?" Jin-Woo chuckled and waved his hand in the air, laughing at Jin-Woo's feisty response. Okay, thanks," someone said. Jin-Woo responded with a big "thank you, boss," and bowed deeply, his back straight and his head lowered. It was weird. It seemed like they were both giving thanks at the same time, so you couldn't tell who was actually getting paid. Outside the dungeon, the rest of the team was hanging out. They had gotten used to waiting around for their leaders to finish up inside. As soon as Jin-Woo and Jin-Woo Sung went in, the team would break into small groups and do their own thing. The biggest group usually played a popular card game called Go Stop. 5 people sat in a circle, looking serious. "What's the count now?" someone asked. Another person thought for a moment before answering. "Let's see. We did 3 raids the day before yesterday, 2 yesterday, and this is our second one today. That makes 7 so far." Someone else spoke up, sounding concerned. "Are those 2 gonna be okay? They're raiding dungeons like crazy. Usually people take a week off after just 1 dungeon." But another person just shrugged it off. "Don't worry about them, they'll be fine. These guys are like machines. They don't even break a sweat. And the best part, we get an extra 3 million won in our bank accounts every time we finish a raid. Not bad, right? Now it's your turn, show us your card." Jin-Woo and Jin-Ho have been going non-stop, but you'd never guess it. They look fresh and ready to go, even after all the craziness they've been through. The other hunters have no idea that it's all thanks to some pretty powerful potions. With the help of these potions, Jin-Woo and Jin-Ho have already blown through over a third of the 19 raids they need to complete. Suddenly the gate starts to shimmer and shake, and out jump Jin-Woo and Jin-Ho. "Hey, the boss is back," someone calls out. "Time to get moving." The hunters start cleaning up after themselves, putting away their gear and waking up anyone who's caught a few winks. "Pack that stuff up please," one of them says, "and wake up any sleepers. We're rolling out." "Remember, don't leave anything behind." The hunters quickly got into line and started moving out. Even the ones who had just woken up jumped up and began getting ready to go. "Let's move out," they shouted. At first these surprise raids had been weird and confusing, but now everyone was starting to get used to them. Meanwhile, at a nearby office of the White Tiger Guild, manager Songmin-en was already having a bad morning. He stormed into the room, looking furious. Assistant manager Hyun, "What's going on?" he asked. "The new members start training tomorrow, and you still haven't booked a gate for them." Assistant manager Kichul Hyun looked down, avoiding his boss's angry stare. "Sorry sir," someone said nervously. "There's a team that always jumps in and grabs the bid whenever a C-rank gate shows up near us. They're super fast. They even beat us to it." The boss was surprised. "What's going on? Can't we just pay them more to back off? We've got plenty of money, and people to spare." One of his team members started to explain, but didn't get far. "I was gonna try that, but," just then, a loud voice cut in. "Hey, watch it. You think you can talk back to me like you're doing something right?" The whole room fell silent when Sangmin yelled. Kichu was furious. What was going on with the White Tiger Guild? One of the best guilds in Korea. The guild had the most talented employees, and Kichu was one of them. He had never made any big mistakes since joining. But now, he couldn't even book a single gate to train new members. This was a huge problem. The guild had 2 teams that helped things run smoothly. The first team managed the schedule for all the hunters. The second team, led by Sangmin, was in charge of finding and training new members. Kichu was frustrated as he showed his laptop to Manager N, trying not to cry. "Please look at this, Manager N," he said. Sangmin was about to yell again, but then he saw the numbers on the screen. His jaw dropped in shock. "Seriously," he muttered. 250 million won. That's crazy. Some people would actually pay that much for a permit to explore a C-rank gate. He was shocked into silence. The most money you could make from a C-rank gate was around 200 million won. Paying more than that would be a bad deal. At first, the price for the permit was about 70 million won, but when Sangmin tried to buy it for 100 million won, someone else paid a whopping 250 million won for it. Now Sangmin understood why Kichul was so upset with his subordinate. Who were these people and what were they thinking? Sangmin's fingers flew across the keyboard as he searched for answers. The typing sounds filled the air. Pekka. Tech. Tech. Soon, the search results popped up on the screen. Something weird was going on. A special team was buying up all the C-rank gate permits for super high prices, and fast. Those guys are crazy. This was White Tiger Guild's territory, so Sangmin thought maybe another guild was trying to cause trouble. But then he thought again. No way would any other guild be brave or stupid enough to mess with White Tiger like this. The top 5 guilds knew better than to mess with the White Tiger Guild. They were like a powerful giant that could squash anyone who got in their way. So when Sangmin heard that someone was brave or crazy enough to challenge them, he thought it can't be another guild. Who would dare to do that? He wondered who it could be and what made them think they had a chance. Sangmin's heart started racing as he checked out the team that was taking on the White Tiger Guild. The leader's name was Jin-Woo. Sangmin had never heard of him before, which made him even more curious. As the person in charge of finding new recruits for his own guild, Sangmin knew how important it was to know your enemies and your friends. But who was this mysterious Jin-Woo? He was like a walking encyclopedia of freelance hunters. He knew every single one of them, no matter how famous or unknown they were. But then he stumbled upon a name that didn't ring a bell. Jin-Woo. He made a mental note to look into this mystery hunter later. For now, he decided to scan the rest of the list to see if any other names jumped out at him. As he scrolled down, one name caught his eye. Jin-Woo Sung. It sounded vaguely familiar, but he couldn't quite place it. Jin-Woo Sung. The name sounded familiar. Then he remembered. It was the guy involved in that crazy double dungeon incident. 2 months ago. The White Tiger Guild had lent a hand to the association back then. Kichul, remember that double dungeon our team helped with a couple of months ago? Yeah, I do. Kichul replied. Wait, didn't they say there were no monsters left? But one person survived. Someone asked. What was the survivor's name? Kichul was a sharp guy with an amazing memory. He didn't need to look anything up. He just knew. It was Jin-Woo Sung. He replied quickly. He's an E-rank hunter. This was the proof Sangmin had been waiting for. His suspicions were finally confirmed. He had a bad feeling about something, and his instincts were never wrong. He yelled out to everyone. Drop what you're doing. I need you to gather every piece of information you can find on 2 hunters. Jin-Woo, who's ranked D, and Jin-Woo Sung, who's ranked E. Get it all now. His team jumped into action, showing why they were the best. They always came through when it mattered most. You know why they're called elites? It's because they're truly one of a kind, and that's exactly what happened when people started talking about them. But let's be real, Jin-Woo wasn't all that special. He was just an average guy. Except for one thing, his dad, Myung-Han Yu, was the big boss of Yujin Construction. Now Jin-Woo Sung was a different story altogether. This guy was like a superhero. Remember those 3 crazy incidents, including the double dungeon? Someone said, he came out of all of them, without a scratch. Kachul nodded in agreement. Jin-Woo was just an E-rank hunter, but he was doing some amazing things. He and Jin-Ho had met on Jin-Ho's very first raid. Out of everyone who went, only those 2 made it out alive. After that, they decided to team up and start taking on dungeons together. They were clearing 2 or 3 dungeons every single day. It was crazy fast. People started to get suspicious. Something doesn't feel right, they said. What's going on with these guys? Others wondered, what are they doing to be so successful? Then someone said, wait a minute. People are talking about Chairman Myung-Han Yu, and the rumor is that he's been contacting top hunters lately. Yeah, I've heard that too, someone said. Then they dropped a big hint. Jin-Woo is his son. It was no secret that Chairman Yu wanted to start a guild. Everyone in the industry knew about it. If this was true, it would explain why Jin-Woo had been acting so strangely lately. Suddenly everything clicked into place for Sangmin. Wait a minute. He exclaimed. The pieces of the puzzle were finally falling together, and it all made sense now. Kichul swallowed hard as he saw the look in his manager's eyes change. Sangmin was beaming with confidence. Are you kidding me? Sangmin's eyes widened in shock. He's a hunter who's come back to life. Kichul looked like he'd just seen a ghost. A hunter who's come back to life. He repeated, his voice shaking. Sangmin nodded confidently. I'm positive. Most hunters who were ranked E weren't much stronger than regular people. If something big happened, they would probably get hurt, or even killed. But Jin-Woo was different. He had managed to escape from some really bad situations where a lot of other hunters had died. Maybe he was just lucky, but it was weird that it kept happening. And then there was that third time. Something didn't add up about Taesakang's story. He was a member of the surveillance team, which meant he was trained to take down other hunters. But according to the records, a C-rank mage hunter had beaten him with the help of a B-rank healer. That seemed crazy. If Taesak was doing his job, he should have gone after the healer first. Healers are strong, but they're not exactly fighters. So, it's weird that Taesak didn't take out the healer right away. And how did a C-rank mage hunter manage to stop him? Mage hunters are usually no match for combat hunters. Especially sneaky ones like assassins. It just didn't make sense. It's hard to believe that Taesak would overlook a B-rank healer and get caught off guard. A hunter with 3 years on the surveillance team should know better. Maybe someone stopped Taesak, someone who was with C-rank Cheol Song at the time. Songmin is convinced he knows what happened, even if he doesn't have proof. He thinks Jin-Woo-sung might be behind it. And that's a big deal. Jin-Woo had a second awakening and became a powerful high-rank hunter. Imagine being part of a top-secret mission to discover someone's hidden talents. That's exactly what happened when Jin-Woo stumbled upon Jin-Woo's amazing abilities during a raid. It all makes sense now. Jin-Woo was testing Jin-Woo to see if he had what it took to join his father's new guild. This is huge news. Probably only a handful of people, including Jin-Woo, knew how valuable Jin-Woo really was as a reawakened hunter. Chairman Yu was known for being super picky, so you know he wouldn't just accept anyone into his guild. And this wasn't just about joining any old team. It was about becoming one of the founding members, which made it an even bigger deal. This was a golden chance to snag some amazing talent. If this guy could take down Taesik, a strong B-rank hunter, that meant he had to be at least a B-rank hunter himself. Sangmin knew he had to act fast and check out Jin-Woo before he joined another team, especially the one led by Chairman Yu. When Jin-Woo got his powers re-evaluated, lots of other teams would be after him, and it would get super competitive. Even if Jin-Woo wasn't as powerful as Sangmin thought, it was still worth taking a closer look. Imagine being one of the few special hunters who got a second chance. The media from all around the world went crazy for their stories. This kind of attention is priceless, no amount of money could buy it. It was an opportunity that was too good to miss. If a hunter had already agreed to work with someone else, there was nothing that could be done. But the truth is, that wasn't likely to happen. Sangmin wasn't giving up hope yet. The fact that he was still exploring C-rank dungeons meant things weren't final. There was a good chance everything could change. This gave the White Tiger Guild a glimmer of hope. They couldn't afford to waste any more time. Sangmin quickly grabbed his jacket from the back of his chair and put it on. "Kichul, let's go," he said, making sure to bring his trusted partner along. Kichul was the only one who could take over Sangmin's job in the future, so Sangmin was extra tough on him. Kichul's eyes widened in surprise as he asked, "Excuse me, where are we going, Manager N?" "We're gonna find a new team member," Sangmin replied. Kichul looked puzzled. "You're going recruiting yourself?" he asked. Sangmin raised an eyebrow and said calmly, "What's the problem with that?" Then he walked out of the room, leaving Kichul looking confused. This was weird. It was the first time Sangmin had gone to recruit someone new since he became the department manager 2 years ago.